Hi, I can see that someone is already online. Good evening, everybody. So sorry for the reschedule of this office hour. It's supposed to happen yesterday. With technical issues and it had to be scheduled to today. So I can see that there's someone online. Oh, Christian, greetings to you. How are you doing? Just trust everything is okay with you. Okay, let's just wait for a few minutes for people to join. I think we're just two people that are online for now. We're hoping that we'll get more people. Okay, people already coming in, so we can be able to kick off immediately. Okay, I think we will just start because we have quite a lot to do today. Um, to set precedence for what we will do tomorrow and then next. Okay. So, good evening once again. Okay. Okay. So, good evening once again. Welcome to today's office hour session. Okay, my name is Samuel. One will be AKA SammyBloom. Okay, and we'll just go over some questions and then we'll go over creating a server from scratch and then our going ahead with our food business. Okay, our food application, food ordering application. Okay, so one of the first things, the questions I have here is, okay, the instruction for this week start say that we should update the index.js file. But from the understanding I got after watching the resources and the code provided from the GitHub repository, it seems like we would need to update more than just the index.js file. Okay. So my answer to this question would be okay, so the question is, we doing this get us marked down or are we allowed? Okay, if you want to edit the index.js edit any other thing apart from the index.js file, you are free to. Okay, you are free to. If you feel that it's necessary for you to do that, please go ahead. And I think just go ahead. Just make sure your application works. Okay. Someone is also asking almost the same question, but in a different way. Why do we need to clone the GitHub repo before taking the task? Okay. The GitHub repo was supposed to give you something that, like, everything you needed, basically, so you can just work on just the index.js file. Okay, that was what the that GitHub repository was meant to do. But if you think you know everything that you need to know and you do not really need to clone the GitHub repo, fine. But at the same time, I wanted you to be able to also know how Git works. Okay. I think it's the first time for some, those are beginners. Okay. Not, I won't call you beginners now. Okay. Those are learning Node.js. Okay. They are new to Node.js, basically. You can, I don't think you've cloned a project before. So this should be like the first time you will be exposed to that. So this is the first time you'll be exposed to cloning a project. So after cloning and every other thing, those additional things involved, you can also just to learn. Okay, that's another reason why we were asked to clone that project. Okay. Um, for those people that are not yet using the office hour form for questions, it doesn't mean that, but that is just two questions that we have. It doesn't mean that everybody understands the resources and the task is kind of straightforward and everybody's cool with it. Does that is that what it means? Okay, I would like to get your feedback on the chat box or in the chat box. Is that what it means? That you understand the resources and the resources explain exactly what you need to be able to um, go about the task. Okay, I'd like to get your feedback. Okay, so from the GitHub repo, we were asked to clone. Okay, okay, the same questions, the same questions. Okay, the feedback here is amazing resources. Thanks so much. Okay, and that's basically the two questions that we have. Okay, so really not much to do when it comes to answering questions. Today I decided that okay, we should just see what we can do with our project. So I'll be sharing my screen to involve to show the project. Okay. Pardon the external noise that you may hear from time to time. Okay. Like I said, just trying to squeeze out some time to not just squeeze out, I'm trying to just do the environment I'm in. Okay, it's really not really quiet as I want it to be. Okay, so since we're working on, I'll just share my task screen. Okay, we're working on several things. Okay, I'll just type localhost 3000 here. So this is where we are. Okay, this is what we have done so far. Okay, this is what we've done so far when it comes to our oh, I want to go. So sorry, I just want to increase the zoom. Okay, so this is what we've done so far when it comes to our food ordering application, and then we'll just concentrate on, we're talking about the index.js, okay, and that's what we have been doing, using, but we'll be concentrating on server.js now. Okay, so I will just try to, for those that have not seen us do this, I will just try to explain what we did here. Basically, we try to create a server using the HTTP module. Okay, and we use the HTTP.create server, the .create server method, which takes in a callback function with parameters or request and response. Okay, and basically this is what is going to be run when the server starts. Okay, okay, this is what we're going to be run. Okay, so we will just try that to make sure that this is running. So is listening. I would like to separate this, okay, for some reasons. So I know that that's how most of you had yours. So let's put equal to 3000. And here I can just remove this and write port. Okay, and here I can say listening. Okay, I'll change this to my backtick string on ports. Okay, so the it's supposed to looking for a request on port 3000. This is what it's supposed to give us. Okay, so I would say node server. Okay, So listening for request on port 3000. If I go to my browser, sorry, if I go to my browser and say localhost 3000, it should have request made. So immediately I load the port, the localhost 3000, it's console.log request made. We didn't tell it to put anything on the screen, at least not yet. Okay, we'll be going through some things. So one of the things we'll be considering is, okay, one of the things we just want to do is we want to take this out and say, instead of saying request made, we want to say request, okay. What I want to do is say hello world. Okay. And then we would also want to look at for cases whereby there's something we call, okay, I just want to explain request and response. Okay, request and response, two different things that are very important when it comes to creating servers in Node.js. Okay, request means what you are asking. So your computer is usually called the local computer. That's why we call it localhost. Localhost is usually the host of your computer. Okay, it contains the IP of your computer. I think it's 127.0.0.1, something like that. Okay, that's the IP address of your local computer. Okay, so what happens is when you make a request, your local computer kind of using the IP of your local computer, you make a request to the server localhost 3000, or basically makes a request to localhost 3000. Okay, and whatever it's in localhost 3000, which is by default like the listening ports. Ports are like gateways, like doors, okay, that you use to access a server. Okay, so there are different applications in your system. You have Slack, you have Microsoft Word, and each one of them is expected to have a different port, okay, like a different door that they use to access the internet. So port is a way for Node.js to just access the internet, basically. That's port 3000. Okay. So like I was saying, request is when you are querying the internet. Okay, you're querying a server, you are asking a server for information. So you are making a, just like the name request, and whatever the server tells you that you need to now display to the user or to give the user is called response. So these are the two different things about request and response. Okay, so one of the things also we want to do here is we want to be able to set content header. Okay, content type. Okay, set header for content type. Okay, this will enable us basically, it tells us the type, the type of content we want to be displayed at every given point in time. Okay, so we will use is a response. Okay, response set header, and it's written content type, which is constant. Okay, this is like constant. The content type is constant, so it must have content type, this parameter here. Now, this is the one that changes from time to time, depending on what you're going to be doing. For now, let us just make use of a plain text. So what we want to display is a plain text. Okay, with that, I would now try to read a file. Okay, a plain text. We'll try to basically, okay. So we want to display a plain text. Now let's try. Okay, one of the things that we'll be doing here is now likely take our time. Is stopping the server. For each change that you make, you have to stop the server and then run it again. When you're using Node, okay, there's a better way to do this that would make our job easier. But until we get there, okay, for now, we will just do this the hard way of stopping the server using Control-C, and then we're starting the server with Node server command. Okay. Let's try to reload this. Okay. It should have, okay, hello world. You can see it written there. Okay, one of the, okay, like I said, we have request and response. So one of the things we want to do is, let's console.log requests, okay? Let's see what request is. Okay, this request, what it contains. Okay, I will Control-C here to stop my server. Okay, and I will start the server again. Okay, so we have a bunch of things here. I'll just try and increase this, a bunch of things here. Okay, that our server contains. Okay, quite a lot. Okay, so we can start from here. Okay, you have readable states, you have object mode, so many things, events, sockets, things that you would need, okay, you may need, not at every given point in time. You don't need everything at every given point in time. But data that contains, okay, let us look at our server. We have events in our server, max listener, okay. We have here basically so many things that you need. But one of the things, important things that it's in this so much data, okay, so much data that we have is the URL and the method. The URL and method, these are very important, especially so method, you have the get method, you have the put method, so many other methods, but right here it's like we're using the get method, and that's why you can see it. And then the URL, it's important when you want to redirect to different pages of your web page. Okay, different web pages. Okay, different pages of your websites. Okay, not the web page, different pages of your websites. You want to redirect, so that's why this URL comes in. So what we'll just try and do is, instead of just saying request, we'll say request.url, and then we'll just try to see request.method. So it just gives us these two only. Okay, and because of that, I will have to Control-C here. Okay. Control-C here, and then Node server. Okay. Listening for request on port 3000. Okay. And if by chance we try to load this, okay, it would give us the method. Okay, this is the URL, and then the method gets. Okay, so with that being said, let's go into doing some real stuff. Okay, some so take for instance, I want to put in HTML page. I want it to display an HTML page of consoling, instead of this console.log thing. Okay, I want to display an HTML page. One of the things I would do is, since remember this is one of the things I would do is to index.js. Okay, I'll create an index.html. Let me just create. So we use the and menu. Okay. This is the menu, and then we can just put this to enjoy the experience. Okay. So I would like to instead of logging in our console, I want our server to display that HTML page. Okay, our index.html. One way to do it is to make use of the FS module that comes with Node. Okay, const fs equals story require. So we're making use of the FS module. FS means file system, the file system module. Okay, I think you should have gone through it and you should be conversant with this, the file system module. So what we want to do is fs dot read file, not read file sync. Okay, just read file. And then what we want to do is redirect to the index dot html. Okay. One of the things I will want to do is because of one of the important things you need to know is be able to segment your code. How will I put it? Segment your files of files ordering. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to create a directory called views and put our index.html in views. Okay, I'm moving it. Okay, so with that, our server.js will have to change. Instead of saying dot slash index.html, it's going to be dot slash views slash dot slash views and then index.html. Okay, and that's one of the parameters the read file will take. The second will be a callback function. Okay, a callback function, which we'll look at in a moment. Okay. So this callback function, we have two parameters basically. One is error, and then the other one is data. Okay, we want it to capture the error, and then we want to capture the data. So error is when there's we could not access the server, and then data is okay. Basically, what we get when we access the server through this path, okay, through this path. Um, so the next thing I would like to write is okay, if error, or when I say this path, I mean this index.html. Okay, I mean if error, I want it to console.log the error. I want to see the error. Okay, and else, which is when it works. I want to press write. Okay, we can use the write method, response.write. Write method, we want to get a response to our user, and then this is where we can put okay data here. Okay, just to make sure this is working before we put data and all, we can just say res.write and put in hello world here. Okay. And after writing, you have to end it. You can put results end, basically. Okay, at every given point, if it's error, we want to consider log error, but we also want to end it. Okay. Um, let the server kind of stop loading and all that. Okay. So that it won't be a continuous loop of loading data. Okay, I commented this out for now. Let's just see what this gives us. Okay. And then localhost 3000. Okay, so it gives us hello world, hello world. Okay, that's what it writes. So it's kind of works. So I can comment here and say, okay, instead of saying hello world, I want it to load the data. Okay, I want it to load the data. And because I made changes already. Okay, so sorry about this. Because I made changes here already. What I want to do is Ctrl C to end, and then we start the server, node server. Okay, and then I will load this, and it's supposed to give me HTML page. It gives me my HTML page more and more, like everything in my HTML page. Okay, this is not exactly what I want it to do. I was expecting to do this. Okay, so and that is because we are still using text, a plain text. We have not told it, okay, that the content type we want it, or the way we want it to what we want it to display is an HTML page. We're still using plain text, okay? And so we would change this to text/HTML. Okay, we would restart the server here and see this again. Okay, so this is the food menu. Enjoy the experience. Okay, I think I have a, okay, so I'll just take this out because I already saw it in our file, the rendering, okay, in our browser. So basically, this is it. Okay, this can be shortened. This of saying since this is only just one data we are trying to put in, this can be shortened. If we have multiple data, we can have res.write this. We're where's dot write that, where's dot write that, where's dot as many where's dot response dot write, okay, as many response dot write. But we just want to write only the data, we can take this out, okay, and just put the data here, and then we try, okay, that was and we try to restart the server, okay. When we start the server and then reload this, okay, you can see that that mistake we made is gone, okay, and it still loads our data just as before, okay. So what of when we want to make use of different HTML files? So this is basically the correction of last week's task, okay, trying to do it again. This is basically the correction, but as we're doing the correction, we're trying to work on our food ordering application, okay. So what we want to do is create other HTML pages so that we can be able to go from one HTML page to the other, okay. So we have index.html. We'll have our 404 error.html, definitely very important. We'll have our about page, okay. Is there another page we can have? We can have our recipe, okay, recipe page, the page that contains our recipe, okay. So because of time, okay, not only because of time, since I already have a shortcut for creating, this is the recipe for your order, okay. I would use history and just say whereas okay. Okay, so recipe, so sorry for that. Recipe can be gotten from the local market, okay. Index is this is the food menu, okay. We can about page, let's say about, okay, and let's just put history and the same history. This is the food ordering application, okay, for error, okay, and we can say oops, wrong page, okay, and what we want to say is history. What are you doing? Or let's just make this fun. Is this playing? Okay. This page does not exist. Okay. Um, um, okay. For colors, okay, I would address that, and let us see how far we can go. Then we can talk about my CLI. But I use all my push. I think all my push for my terminal. Okay. It's when you configure your terminal, your Windows terminal with all my push. Okay, the way you do it, it's quite. I think if you go to YouTube, you can be able to see and how to how to get it done. But basically, it's all my push. Okay, so we're done with this. So what we want to do is to be able to move from change this instead of just index.html, change this to recipe.html, about.html, 44error.html, depending on what you want to do. And in order to do this, we'll create a variable called path, and we will put this main part. So everything, since everything is inside views, everything has to carry .views ./view/, then we can put the 44 error about index HTML, but that one is constant. Okay, this is constant. This is constant. Okay. In order to go about this, we will use the switch statement. Okay. In the switch statement, we use, okay, since we're talking about paths, and you remember that's this URL, we want to get this URL. So we use the request.url, okay, as our parameter here. So search through request.url. So the switch statement is going to be able to search through request.url and find what is suitable. Okay. In the case whereby the URL is going to be with just the home, this is what I call home. Okay, like home page. Okay. What I want it to do is add to this path. Okay. Add to this path index.html, okay, and then after that you can break, since it's a switch statement. Okay, so what this does is it adds index.html to /view/. So when it adds, if it goes to request.url and it sees that it's just this home, that's just one slash here. I don't know what they call it. This forward slash and the backward slash. Okay. One slash. Okay. I'll just use the slash as I've been using it before. Okay. If you see this slash, and what it just want to do is add index.html to this. So this will now become ./view/index.html, just like we have here. So I'm going to do it for different cases. Okay. Trying to replicate for different cases. Okay. Okay. Control Z. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes, we will have 3, and the last one we'll have is default. Okay. Default is just default. It does not need to one by saying it's default. What we want to do is break. Okay, so that a little some things that we want to do, and then just about slash about, and I want it to go to about .html when we say slash, okay, recipe, okay, I want to go to recipe.html, the default, I want it to go to pass plus or equals to 4 error dot html. Okay. So yes, I think we are done with this. So let's try our codes. But before we try our codes, the next thing we need to do is remove this. Because this is pointing to one HTML page. We just make it page. Okay, sorry, pass. Okay. So it takes the pass here, okay, and then this switch statement comes into play, okay, and then the final pass is what would, since it reads from top to bottom, okay. So we'll try to run this node server, and let's go here. So it says food is the menu, enjoy the experience. So this is like our home, our dashboard, our home page, the home of the home page, but basically our home page. So if I say slash about, you can now say, okay, this is not just the home page, this is our base URL. Okay, I know people are having that issue. So this is the base URL. Okay, so but now I want to change this URL to about, okay. So this is a food ordering application. I want to change this to recipe, okay. Recipe can be gotten from the local market, okay. I want to change this to, let's say profile, okay. We know profile does not exist. It's supposed to give us, is this playing? This page does not exist, okay. So it works perfectly well, okay. Another thing I would want us to do is include status code, okay. So we have different status code. We have status code 200. We saying okay, okay. If we go to this, okay, and try to inspect. Okay, I don't like the expression of the. Okay. Okay, so this gives, oh, okay, so you can see the status code here is 200 and the method is a get method. Okay, if I also make your home page, that's this the home page, and this is the food menu, enjoy the experience. You still give us the status code 200. Okay, you can see status code 200, request method is a get method. Okay, I think this is the remote address. You can see it's 127.0.0.1. This is what we call local host. The local host is 127. That's the IP address of my computer. Basically, it's going to be the same for every computer except you change it. Okay, except you change it. We'll just leave this like this so I can be able to get back to it anytime we want. So we want to include some status code. Status code 200 is for okay. Status code 301 is for resource move. status code 404 is not found. Status code 404. That's why you can see that it's named 404 error, not found. Okay. On that status code we have is 500, which is internal server error. That other server, you can use other numbers, but basically anything in the 100 range is informational responses. 200 range is success codes. That's 200 range is 200, 201, 222, 223, 204. Anything 200 and the success code. Anything 100 and is informational responses. Anything 300 and is codes for redirect. So resources have been moved. Okay, maybe I was in my profile. It was supposed to, what I was using was profile me, and I changed it to just profile. Okay, or let us say recipe. Okay, maybe, okay, I think we'll use recipe. Okay, we'll do a demo. Okay, for resources have been moved, but the whole idea is if the path for my recipe initially was recipe hyphen food. Okay, so recipe hyphen food. Okay, and that's what I used initially to build the website. And as we got bigger, as we got you know, I tried to do a little change in my code. Instead of saying recipe hyphen food, I changed it to just recipe. The whole idea is that so many other sites that have so many other people that have that patronize my food application still have, or so people with older versions of my application, they can still have recipe hyphen food. And when they go to a recipe hyphen food, I don't want them to feel that, okay, they give them 404 error, that it does not exist. I just want my application to be able to redirect them to recipe. That's the new one, instead of recipe hyphen food. So recipe hyphen food, recipe will show the same thing. Okay, even though recipe is what we are using now, and recipe hyphen food is what we're using previously. And that's why most times you can see that different applications change. They give updates, especially when it comes to Android apps, apps on mobile. Okay, they give different versions, but the different versions they may change so many things in the code. Okay, for the different versions, but they all point to, if we are using the previous version, it's still going to point out to that same thing. Okay, that the new version is pointing out to. Okay, very important for us to note. Very important for us to note. So what we want to do is to include the response to status code. Okay, response of status code, and we'll just include it here. Okay. Initially, we are supposed to include it somewhere, somewhere here. Okay. If error else, this is where we are supposed to include the status code. You can see status code, and we'll put 200 here to tell you that it's okay. Okay, this when it's okay, this when there's an error. Okay, but since we have different pages, okay, we want it to, and then we have this 404 error already, and we don't want it to still show status okay when it's showing this 404 error. Okay, we have to now put it here. Okay, we have to put it here individually. But generally, if we're to, when we'll be editing this codes to make it functional like a standard code, we will put it here. This is where it's going to reside. So I'll just try and put it here, and then comment it out. So when it's time, I would remove all these. Okay, and then so this instead of status 200 as status 404. Okay, that we'll know that it's an error. Okay, let's try running this. Okay, Oh, time. Okay. We obviously had an error. Okay. And let me see. So sorry. So sorry. Where's the status code? So sorry. I think it's that this is my fault. Okay, so this is how it is written, not the other way around. This is how it is written. Okay, that's why we were having errors. Okay, that means I would have to change this one. Okay, so let's run it again. Node server, and let's try. Okay, works 200. Okay, forget about this Fiverr account, local host. But let's try this profile. We know profile does not exist, but let's try profile. So it gives us the 4 error. Okay, gives us status code of 4 that it does not exist. You can see it here. 4 not found. Okay. Um, the next thing we want to do is just shortly before is to make sure use the redirect. Okay, just so if I have a redirect of recipe food, okay, Control V. Okay, so instead of recipe, we want to put recipe hyphen food, but instead of saying status code 200, since it's a redirect, we'll put status code 301. Okay, to tell us that it's a redirect. It's still going to load his recipe.html. HTML. It's still going to load that. Okay. But it's a, basically still it's just saying let it load this. We'll clean this. Okay. But it's still going to load recipe.html. We will allow the application to figure that out. But what we have to do is to set header first, and set header. The header we want to put is location with L in capital letters. Okay, note L is in capital letters, and we want it to go to the recipe.html. Okay, recipe.html, and then you can see response.end here, and then the break. Okay, so we would try this out. Node server. Okay, and I want to put recipe hyphen food. Okay, and see where it takes us to. Okay, it gives us still one move permanently, but it doesn't show us the recipe page. Okay, I can see where the mistake came from. Okay, so we'll try it again. Server. Okay. Okay, still did not status code still okay. recipe.html. Okay, I'm wondering what's wrong with this code. Okay. What's wrong with this? I think this slash. Okay. I think that's what's wrong with the code. Let's try again. It's supposed to give us the recipe page. Okay. Recipe.html. It's telling me it does not exist. Yes, it does not exist. Definitely it doesn't. So instead of saying recipe.html, it's supposed to be recipe, just like we have here. Okay, just like we have here. And node server. Let's try it again for the last time. Our final push. Okay. This okay. I don't know why this is not working. And we're already out of time. Okay, we're already out of time. But I don't know why this is not working. This is supposed to work. Okay. I would trace where the problem is coming from and definitely work on it. But we're already behind schedule. I think we just have 3 minutes for the next people that will be having their office hour to come in. Okay. So basically, that is the end of today's office hour session. We will do make sure that this works. Okay, by tomorrow. So by tomorrow, this will work. We'll make sure that it works. Then we'll be introducing NPM, that's Node Package Manager, how to use it and how it can make our software development better, okay, faster. And why do we need to use NPM, use it and all that? We basically go through all of that, and then definitely from there we'll enter express.js. Okay, so thank you so much for staying with me to the end. If you have any questions, make sure to use the office hour session form, question from the office hour question form. Make sure to use that, okay, and get your questions across. Thank you so much. Take care and have a nice week. Bye.